There's very few problems that can't be solved with time and a pickaxe.
Favorite mundane item and or lesser known magic item? I'm going to take the lead here. A bag of flour is one of my favorite mundane items because you can use it for blinding people. You can use it as a way to get a little bit of a bonus maybe in finding like secret doors, trap doors, things like that. Also, I'm sorry if you're worried about an invisible foe, chunk a bunch of flour on the floor. They still have to walk
their footprints,
and look for the footprints, things like that. Like, it's just one of those items, like flour or sand, however you want to look at it. Something like that is just a lot of fun to, you can get up to a lot with that.
You can get up to a lot. I think my favorite mundane item is going to have to be a toss-up between an animal trap, like a bear trap kind of thing, or a pickaxe. There's a lot of fun things you can do with your own animal trap. And then a pickaxe is fun because you can alter the dungeon with one. Break through doors, you can use it to break through walls. One of the things that I like a lot about old school dungeon delving is when you've got a good mapper, and you've got someone who's taking intricate and detailed maps, then you start seeing the places where you can make your own alterations to the dungeon. And it's like, there's a whole reason you brought a dwarf along. You might as well have some pickaxes and shovels and things.
Yeah.
And get to work.
Yeah, it's only 2 feet to that. Probably 2 feet that way through that wall, and we'll get to that other chamber.
Right. There's very few problems that can't be solved with time and a pickaxe in Dungeons and Dragons, like a traditional kind of dungeon crawl.
Time and persistence.
Right. So, I like that. Those are probably my mundane. Some of my favorite. Rope is another good one. There's a lot of good things you can do with rope.
Yeah.
It's a tool that every adventurer should kind of have. I want to know about like sort of lesser known magic items
Or more basic
more
magic
basic
items.
magic items. I'm not really familiar with the common magic items in Xanathars. I know that there's a lot of them there, and some of them are really kind of interesting. Clothes that change color, or boots that leave different sets of tracks.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite from that, where you can change what your tracks look like, and I would just be doing that all day.
Yeah, magic items are not a facet of the game that I interact with much, because I don't play as much. And in the games that I do play, magic items don't seem to be prominent or prevalent, they're not very common. So I don't know, I don't really have a lot of experience with the more common magic items to say which one's my favorite, other than I like ones that sort of let you make minor alterations, so like a clothes that change color or something like that.
I would like clothes with like a persistent prestidigitation, so no matter what, you could always just like...
Gotta smell nice.
You just... You brush your shoulders off, and the whole thing's clean again.
Yeah.
Get out of the sewers. Clean.
There's that. I think like a rope. What's the rope that they had? Like a rope of climbing that can move on its own and attach itself to.
Yeah, it will go up 60 feet and it'll wrap around something.
That's pretty fun. I like the more mundane stuff where you're just like, let's set up some traps or make alterations to the dungeon or rig up our own avalanche or something. Like in the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi, how is it that they had all those traps conveniently set up around that bunker? Is what I'm kind of curious about now.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. If you're a bunch of Ewoks and the fucking Empire moved in, could have just set all that up just because they were like, just to get around them and to have them in place, but they never wanted to like attack them.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can kind of see that. I mean, it really works if you like sort of think of that battle as much more expansive than it actually was. That there's a lot more than just the firefight that takes place in and around the bunker.
Yeah, if you think about it as them luring them out of the bunker and into like a death chute alley kind of thing.
Yeah, it just takes time. I mean, I know they had other traps set up throughout the forest.
The question I ask is, how did all those little Ewoks move? These giant ass.
They did with levers and pulleys.
Levers, pulleys, same way they built the pyramids.
Simple machines.
Aliens.
Aliens.
Got a question for WebDM? Check us out on Patreon to submit your question and get access to exclusive videos, podcasts, and more. And don't miss the Wednesday show this week on the Monsters of the Cthulhu Mythos.